Good morning, Uganda. It's a Friday, and why we've started with that story, an interesting one at that. But first, allow me introduce myself. And not just myself, but also my usual partner in crime. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. And together, we always bring you Good Morning Uganda. It's a Friday, and it's one that allows us, all of us, including you, to listen up. Of course, walk in remembrance of the week, what has transpired throughout the week, but also allow us to officially get ready for the weekend. Now, that particular video is one event that took place, transpired this week, in Thailand, first and foremost, of Miss Universe contestants walking out of a pre-pageant meeting or conversion where the director of the Miss Universe contest in Thailand insulted Miss Mexico. Now, Miss Universe contestants are contestants that come together for the position of Miss Universe in their countries. They are the winners or the crown wearers of that particular crown beauty pageant in their countries. For example, Miss Uganda representing Uganda at the Miss Universe pageant, beauty pageant. But this particular time, the director of Miss Universe Thailand insulted Miss Mexico, trying to say that she did not maybe publicize or promote the event, and he was rather rude, and he actually called security on her as she tried to explain herself. However, he did not listen, and in that moment, as she walked out of the room, her counterparts stood up in solidarity and walked out of the room as well. But I'm glad that this man took the humility, the step of humility, to apologize to Miss Mexico because of what had happened. And indeed, neither do I appreciate anyone, not just a man, but anyone speaking rudely at me. I am not back that. So in all honesty, I would also be in solidarity with what Miss Mexico did and what her counterparts did. But I'm also proud of the chairperson or the director of the Miss Universe contest in Thailand, that he eventually apologized and said sorry. That indeed is one I would call a gentleman for that. But to all men out there and to all humanity, all people, do not back at people. It doesn't matter how wrong they are. Listen, communicate, correct, rebuke, but never back. Neither do you back at me. Robert, good morning. Why are you silent?
Good morning, Julie.
Good morning. I see you have a lot to say, but also, what's up?
Nothing.
All right.
Are you okay?
I am well. I'm never pleased with people who communicate with backing. I am never pleased. In fact, I never respect you. If you're a man and you communicate like that with insult, I never respect you. Yeah, so...
And if you're a woman and you communicate like that...
Yes, even if it's for a woman, yes. Even if it's for a woman.
And most of the times, that's how many have seen women go out of the way and do that. That is more womanish than the male side.
Oh, wow. You have not met men who are the worst communicators. I've dealt with many. And many a times I've communicated to everyone I get to interact with that do not back at me. You do not. Talk to me. Ask me why. Tell me that you are hurt. Let me apologize. Let me explain. Even if I'm lying to you, tell it straight to me that no, you're lying. But do not back at me. Tombo gorilla. I am not your child. Anyways, looking at some of the stories that transpired throughout the week, well, the week had quite a lot. From traders, discontented, angry, disappointed, hurt traders who were affected by last week's rains that ended up into floods that definitely destroyed their property, most or all of their merchandise in shops and their stores. That was one of the highlights throughout the week. But also campaign trails with party supporters attacking each other, looking at NUP supporters who attacked the Budaka district campaign trail of the FDC supporters. Also looking at the NRM supporters who attacked NUP supporters. That was in Rushere and Sanga. But of course, Zoran Mamdani covered the week on the news, on the internet, throughout the world. That is New York's newest mayor. And of course, the highlights given his background, born in Uganda, so Ugandan, given his background that he is first and foremost the youngest to hold this position in many, many, many years. And of course, the fact that he is the first to hold this position, one of Indian descent at that. And of course, that Miss Universe story is one that's also making rounds on the internet. Wonder what made your week? What story made your week? Would be lovely to know. 0709602590 to share your opinion as to what story made your week. But I'm going to find out from Robert which story indeed took the height of its speed throughout the week.
I'll begin with the floods
Yes.
Downtown, where we saw property worth billions that was destroyed. We saw the pain of traders. I went downtown on that day to ascertain the damage and all that, to talk to some of my friends who are traders, and you'd see them. It is coming to the end of the month. By then they had rent, they have a lot of bills to clear,
Loans.
and loans, and their monies. They usually use an Islamic word, emali yafe, kirabo gilabe bwefudde, floating on water and all that. Then also the incidents that followed, President Yoweri Museveni's commitment, the Prime Minister returning, I think she was from Egypt, then directly going there. Also speaking here and there, I'm not the one who caused the rain, you know, some feeling very agitated by those statements. But also Issa Sechito, yesterday also downtown, new traders are on a strike. And police had to round him up, saying he was inciting traders to strike. Now, away from that, of course, politics, the campaign trail, moving on there. Yes, that beating and defacing, where Nandala Mafabi came out and really lashed out at the new president, saying no one has monopoly over violence, and also mentioning issues regarding the weed. You know, all those things. We can also, the words, yes, every human being, once provoked, has the right to get upset. But I think sometimes in some positions, you must tame what you speak.
You
I
see,
said at such a time, political party leaders, their message will either create a conducive, peaceful environment or lead us to disaster. Now, when a party president, out of rage and anger, speaks such,
you see,
it doesn't
I
create...
beg to interject there that the Bible that I read says that to whom much is given, much is expected. So for as long as you're in a position of leadership, it does not matter how you feel. Much is expected out of you, always. To whom much is given, much is expected. And I would speak, of course, also on the comments that Honorable Chagulanyi made in the heat of the moment while in Rushere and Sanga. You could hear him over the mic saying that, you know, NRM supporters and our supporters, let's communicate amicably, let's just harmonize, let's not attack each other. You could hear it in the background. I don't know if he has had a press conference regarding this yet. If there has been any, I look forward to hearing what he said. But from the background of the campaign trail, you could hear him on the microphone saying, "Banange tukwatagane, banange tetwekuba," you know. And I think for me that was a tick, a thumbs up for him.
I want to say, during this campaign trail, I don't know if he learned best
From the previous, yes.
But the way he's conducted himself and craving for peace, wanting calm, I would love to salute him for that. But also call upon the FDC counterpart that really what we say as presidential candidates matter a lot to the behavior of people. So to me, those are the stories of the week. You talked about Mamdan. Definitely, that is a story that any Ugandan following international politics should have interest in, at least some reason to be a little bit excited. And say that court, yesterday there was court, and it is alleged that the daughter of Hajo Bedi Rutale, you know, she lost her cool in court, where the presiding judge came out regarding their application so that it vacates the case and gave his ruling on that. So it was a bit of drama, but also we still see a number of candidates traversing the entire country. I like Munyagwa and the way he's doing his things. He's having some drama and excitement in this altogether. Some have remained silent, much as they are there.
Right.
You know, they give you a campaign trail, but they're a bit silent. So, of course, NRM takes the lead most of the times. You have them here and there, and they do a lot of PRO. Then National Unity Platform. Now, also Gregory has somehow, now it's been Nandala there who is giving us some news. Of course, Chagulanyi, no doubt, he also gives us some news. They are 8 in the race, but there are some that have gone really silent. Elton Joseph, sorry, Mavidiza. I wonder, you have not seen anything really, not even on social media.
Well, we await. We are here to cover the stories as they come. All we know so far, 8 of them are contesting to be the next president of the nation of Uganda. Who will be your next president? At least we always update you on where each one of them is every single day. Robert, let's have a look at what we have on the local scene.
Well, I begin with President Museveni in Bulambuli. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni reiterated that government is fully implementing his earlier pledge of donating 2 acres of land accompanied by 10 million shillings as a package to households affected by landslides in Bulambuli district. While campaigning in Bulambuli yesterday evening, President Museveni noted this program intends to relocate communities living in disaster-prone areas. He also revealed that government has so far set aside an extra 50 billion shillings to facilitate the purchase of more land, mainly for affected families. Museveni also pledged to fight corruption and corrupt health officials to ensure efficient service delivery. He also promised to establish an industrial park for Manafwa district local government following the discovery of vercumelite mineral in the area. Mr. Museveni made the commitment while campaigning in Bugisu sub-region yesterday. The leaders in Bulambuli district, Bugisu sub-region, declared unwavering support for the ruling National Resistance Movement as the country heads towards the next general elections. They attribute their loyalty to the visible social and economic transformation, notably in infrastructure and service delivery, that have lifted the district's outlook and livelihood. However, local leaders are calling for the Ministry of Disaster Preparedness to be separated from the Office of the Prime Minister, arguing that this would enhance efficiency in handling disaster occurrences that frequently affect the mountainous district. President Yoweri Museveni has asked developing countries to refocus on development approaches as the world undergoes major structural reforms, which official development assistance is declining. This was contained in the President's message delivered for him by the Right Honorable Robin Nabbanja, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, during the Second World Summit for Social Development in Doha, the capital of Qatar. The President stressed that this summit comes at a critical moment in global affairs following other key international engagements, including the 2023 Sustainable Development Goals Summit and the 2024 Summit of the Future, where leaders reaffirmed shared commitment to shaping the world we want. Museveni noted that the summit takes place as the world undergoes major structural reforms, which official development assistance declining, which should compel us, the developing countries, to rethink our development approach. Nabbanja briefed the world leaders that Uganda has adopted a tenfold growth strategy aimed at expanding the economy from $61.3 to $500 billion by 2040. The President called upon the United Nations and the regional organizations such as the African Union to continue to promote innovative ideas and interventions that tackle poverty and improve household incomes. The duo retired Colonel Kizza Besigye, Haj Obedi Lutale, and Captain Olalo Dennis who are accused of treason and misprision of treason appeared at High Court Criminal Division in Kampala before Judge Emmanuel Baguma. In a court full to capacity of relatives and friends of the accused, Judge Emmanuel Baguma read the ruling in the application which was made by the accused, asking him to allow them refer his ruling of declining to excuse himself from the matter to the Constitutional Court for interpretation. In his ruling, Judge Baguma, after perusing through both sides' submissions, citing the relevant authorities and different statuses, dismissed Dr. Kizza Besigye and Haj Obedi Lutale's application. Baguma, in dismissing the application, was of the view that the applicants have failed to show any prima facie grounds for court to allow its ruling to be submitted to a constitutional interpretation. However, after reading the ruling, drama ensued in the court when Mariam Obedi Lutale, daughter to the accused Haj Obedi Lutale, tried to attack the presiding judge Emmanuel Baguma over his ruling. When court resumed, Judge Baguma ordered the accused to take plea over the offenses of treason and misprision of treason, which was leveled against them by the prosecution. Although the prosecution was said to have the accused take plea, this was impossible since the duo's legal team was not ready to proceed. And finally, on the local scene, government plans to register all assets, both operational and non-operational, within 8 months as part of efforts to improve accountability and resource management. This was revealed by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Ramadan Gobi, in a message delivered by the Acting Accountant General, Godfrey Semugoma, during the launch of the Uganda chapter of Institute of Asset Management held in Bugorobi, Kampala. The Institute of Asset Management, the first of its kind in Africa, was launched to promote proper recording, evaluation, and management of both public and private assets. Gobi noted that the new initiative will help strengthen awareness and professionalism in asset management. Horace Muhaya, founder of the Uganda chapter of the Institute, highlighted the importance of proper asset management in preventing losses and promoting efficiency. The launch also cited lessons from the World Bank Fund US MID program, where poor maintenance of infrastructure such as roads increased costs and reduced project value. The case of the Uganda Support to Municipal Infrastructure Development Program, USMID, funded by the World Bank at a cost of $360 million, created road and related urban utilities in 22 municipal councils, has been strongly cited around issues of maintenance. Now, that brings us to the end of our local stories this morning. Let Julie take us through what the rest of the world has.
Thank you very much, Robert. Now, that story of Mariam Obeid Lutale, she's actually contesting for Kampala, a woman MP for the Kampala seat on the PFF ticket.
These days, there are so many that are contesting.
Right, now moving on to what we have on the global scene. Now, from Hurricane Melissa that affected the Caribbean lands last week, this week has seen the Philippines deal with Typhoon Kalmeji. Now, please note that the Philippines has had several calamities, natural calamities affect it this year alone, 2025. And one of the biggest and major hits is this particular one, Typhoon Kalmeji, that made landfall in Vietnam yesterday after killing at least 114 people and flooding entire towns in the Philippines. More than 260,000 soldiers are on standby for rescue efforts as winds of up to 149 kilometers per hour hit the country's coastline, according to Vietnamese media and the government's online portal. 6 airports in the country have been forced to close and hundreds of flights are expected to be affected, the government warned. The country, which has already been battling record rains and floods, is now facing one of Asia's strongest typhoons this year. Now, the country's environment minister said yesterday that the storm is on land and in the provinces of Daklaka and Jailai. In a statement quoted by various outlets, including the AFP news agency, the Vietnamese National Weather Forecast says hundreds of localities in 7 cities and provinces are at risk of flooding and landslides in the next 6 hours. There have already been reports of damage from several provinces, including roofs torn off homes, shattered glass panels at hotels, and trees uprooted or snapped along city streets and rural roads by powerful gusts. Interesting, there's someone still on an analog TV. Anyways, away from that trivia point of note, moving on to US President Donald Trump, who has been criticized by world leaders for his stance on climate change ahead of the global COP30 summit. President Trump, who is not attending the meeting in the Amazonian city of Belém, was called a liar by the leaders of Colombia and Chile for his rejection of the climate science. UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer acknowledged the waning political support on climate change. He said it had been a unity issue internationally and in the UK, but today, sadly, that consensus is gone. Over the next 2 weeks, countries will try and negotiate a new deal on climate change with a particular focus on channeling more money to forest protection. Many leaders from the world's largest nations, India, Russia, US, and China, are notably absent from this year's summit. And while Trump isn't attending this meeting in Belém, his views on climate change are certainly on the minds of many of other leaders present. Speaking at the UN in September, the US president said that climate change was the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world.
My only problem is that there is so much lip service when it comes to climate change. So much lip service, so much lip service. And even when these big nations say certain things, commit themselves, they do not actually live to their promise. If they do, it's just so little to create impact. I'll still re-echo the loss and damage fund, where these development countries who emit a lot of, who destroy the environment, the ozone layer, they have factories, thus they built their wealth because they had what we are in now, the Industrial Revolution.
Indeed.
But the bad thing is, even when we push and say, let's collectively as Africans push for this, our agenda at COP. Now, if you're expecting like $1 billion Uganda shillings, we end up being given like 100 million shillings. You know, so
Sad
we're
indeed.
just talking so much and doing little. No wonder Trump looks at it as something like
Sad
that's
indeed.
not done an impact.
Now, moving on to Africa, Cameroon's 92-year-old President Biya has promised to restore order in the country gripped by post-election violence as he has sworn in for an 8th consecutive term in office. In his inaugural address, the world's oldest president offered condolences to victims of the protests and blamed those he called irresponsible politicians for the unrest. "I can assure you order will reign," he promised, saying it was pointless to plunge the country into crisis. Following allegations of fraud during last month's election, Biya described the electoral process as satisfactory and praised the electoral body, ELCAM, and the nonagenarian won 54% of the vote compared to 35% of Issa Chiroma Bakari. According to the official results, Chiroma Bakari maintains he was the rightful winner of the poll and has accused the authorities of fraud, which they have denied. The announcement of the result led to deadly protests across the country, which saw at least 14 people killed and more than 1,200 arrested, according to the National Human Rights Commission. Other institutions have presented a far higher death toll. All right, let's quickly get into what we have in the press today.
Well, the new vision, here we go. New standing orders for doctors. What are those orders? Working hours increased. Experts speak out. And Museveni in Elgon region. Well, there's a picture of His Excellency there. We also have HIV injection is not a vaccine. Okay, thanks for that correction. This is not a vaccine. No wonder I was asking myself, a vaccine does not prevent you, the little I know, from acquiring a disease.
Right.
It boosts your immune system. That even when that disease gets you, I'm not a scientist, maybe there are vaccines that totally prevent. But even when you get that disease, you're not, because your immune system is boosted. Then 5 things to know about Mamdan. Still, the New Vision brings in ICC confirms 39 cases against Kony. But where is this man? Where is this man? The ugly side of cosmetic surgery. Julie, the women here, there is something that you should interest yourself when these things come in our country. Then manifesto and Misindwa voters demand better roads, and we have Muntu to enroll all Ugandans on the health insurance. Then vote ideas, not individuals, says Chagulanyi. And the Daily Monitor this morning, where are they? Who? Well, the Daily Monitor has a big headline there and the pictures of people there asking and wondering, where could these people be? I see a gentleman there who recently lost a wife. We also have police swap nets over 200 Iron Bar gang suspects. Okay, they are netted. And we have here drama in court after Besigye request is dismissed. Now Museveni to establish industrial park in Manafwa. And of course more stories there. Let me for a Friday read the Lizard and see. He must be living in a different country. That is where we see USE championing fund to help flood hit people. That is okay. Well, the Lizard is there for you. He has something to say. And Julie, please take us through what the Citizen has.
Yes, indeed. The Citizen says why psychological healing is vital after October 29th unrest. Psychologists warn that about 30% of people who experience disasters develop trauma-related conditions, underscoring the need for patience and quite new. Not exactly new, but it's rare in their country. Government's decision to ease post-lockdown port congestion and how the race for Speaker's post has gripped CCM. New push for accountability, reconciliation. Also, Africa's 1 trillion pension savings trapped in crisis of belief, not money. And the Daily Nation from Kenya, protect our citizens, Kenya tells Tanzania. That is the headline. There are many living in fear amid threats of victimization and suspicion of taking part in protests. Now, morning, Baba, why grave visits will not end anytime soon. That is in reference to the passing of Honorable Raila Odinga. And of course, some of the stories: business, Safaricom first half profit up 52% on M-Pesa growth, and education, 2,145 primary schools face closure, merger as enrollment shrinks. Now let's have a look at what we have in the Gazette as of the 7th of November 2025. Table of contents there, and notices to recognize, be it known that on the 24th day of October 2025, Karanzi Gerardi, an advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be a commissioner for oaths under the above-mentioned act for so long as he continues to practice as such advocate and the commission is not revoked. Also, be it known that on the 24th, Siko Gerald, an advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be a commissioner for oaths under the above-mentioned act for so long as he continues to practice as such advocate and the commission is not revoked. This is as of the 24th day of October for the both and under the hand of Alfonso Chigamoy Owinyidolo. Also be it known that as of the 24th day of October 2025, Sekanjako Abubakar, an advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be commissioner for oaths under the above-mentioned act for so long as he continues to practice as such an advocate and commission is not revoked, still under the hand of Alfonso Chigamoe, Owini Dolo, and that is on the 24th day of October 2025. Now that brings us to the end of what we have in the dailies. Let's have a short break with some music. And when we get back, we're having a conversation with Interact and Rotaract, or Rotary. But also later on, we'll be having Abraham Luzi and a lot of content in
Sarah
there.
is tall.
Sarah is tall, I'm telling you.
I can't wait.
Good morning.
UBC Studios in Kampala.
We always bring you Good Morning Uganda. It's a Friday, and it's one that allows us, all of us, including you, to listen up. Of course, walk in remembrance of the week, what has transpired throughout the week, but also allow us to officially get ready for the weekend. Now, that particular video is one event that took place, transpired this week, of in Thailand, first and foremost, of Miss Universe contestants walking out of a pre-pageant meeting or convention where the director of the Miss Universe contest in Thailand insulted Miss Mexico. Now, Miss Universe contestants are contestants that come together for the position of Miss Universe in their countries. They are the winners or the crown wearers of that particular crown beauty pageant in their countries. For example, Miss Uganda representing Uganda at the Miss Universe pageant, beauty pageant. But this particular time, the director of Miss Universe Thailand insulted Miss Mexico, trying to say that she did not maybe publicize or promote the event, and he was rather rude, and he actually called security on her as she tried to explain herself. However, he did not listen, and in that moment, as she walked out of the room, her counterparts stood up in solidarity and walked out of the room as well. But I'm glad that this man took the humility, the step of humility, to apologize to Miss Mexico because of what had happened. And indeed, neither do I appreciate anyone, not just a man, but anyone speaking rudely at me. I am not backed at. So in all honesty, I would also be in solidarity with what Miss Mexico did and what her counterparts did. But I'm also proud of the chairperson or the director of the Miss Universe contest in Thailand, that he eventually apologized and said sorry. That indeed is one I would call a gentleman for that. But to all men out there and to all humanity, all people, do not back at people. It doesn't matter how wrong they are. Listen, communicate, correct, rebuke, but never back. Neither do you back at me. Robert, good morning. Why are you silent?
Good morning, Judy.
Good morning. I see you have a lot to say, but also, what's up?
Nothing.
All right.
Are you okay?
I am well. I am not. I'm never pleased with people who back, who communicate with backing. I am never pleased. In fact, I never respect you. If you're a man and you communicate like that with insult, I never respect you. Yeah. So.
And if you're a woman and you communicate like that.
Yes, even if it's for a woman. Yes, even if it's for a woman.
And most of the times, that's how many have seen women go out of the way and do that. That is more womanish than the male side.
Oh, wow. You have not met men who are the worst communicators. I've dealt with many. And many a times I've communicated to everyone I get to interact with that do not back at me. You do not. Talk to me. Ask me why. Tell me that you are hurt. Let me apologize. Let me explain. Even if I'm lying to you, tell it straight to me that no, you're lying. But do not back at me. Tombo gorilla. I am not your child. Anyways, looking at some of the stories that transpired throughout the week, well, the week had quite a lot. From traders, discontented, angry, disappointed, hurt traders who were affected by last week's rains that ended up into floods that definitely destroyed their property, most or all of their merchandise in shops and their stores That was one of the highlights throughout the week, but also campaign trails with parties.
Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't go.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. If you started the show with us, as always, thank you so much. And if you're just joining in, you're welcome. This is Good Morning Uganda on UBC TV, and we always come to you live from Nile Avenue. Now, we're having a conversation regarding Interact and Rotary and what these two things mean. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and in studio with me is Philip Wamala, Rotarian Philip Wamala, who is the Interact Chair, Rotary District 9-13. But also I have Mujib Chiyuka, an interactor, and because he is an interactor, that means he is still in school. He'll be telling us which school he represents and how he engages in this whole conversation of Interact. But for you to be part of the conversation, 0709-602-592. Good morning, Rotarian Philip.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, Uganda. I'm Philip Wamala from the Rotary Club of Kasangati, and with the responsibility of coordinating Interact clubs in our Rotary District 9213. Happy to be here.
Indeed, great to have you, Mujib Chiyuka. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much also, Joy, for hosting. Good morning, Uganda. Good morning to our viewers and listeners. My name is Chiyuka Mujib, Interact District Representative for D9213. And in the same spirit, Julie was asking which school I represent. I'm from from Kololo High School, where I happen to serve as the past president of the Interact Club of High School. That's year 2023-2024. And by then I was my O-level. That's in year 3.
Oh, wow. Right. And I'll start with you. What exactly is Interact?
Well, Thank you for the question. Interact is a club that it's found in school, for the starter that it was, but it also can be found in a community, and this is a group of young people aged between 12 to 18 years. And to take you back to the history of Interact, this started on 5th November, that's 1962. And on 5th November this year, we are celebrating 63 years of Interact in existence across the globe. And therefore, the first Interact Club was the Interact Club of Melbourne High School, that's US, Florida, and it was sponsored by the Rotary Club of Florida in US. That's a brief history about Interact, but it also a club where young people gather and share ideas as interactors and also impact their fellows in the school.
Right, still staying with you, why exactly would one join Interact? Why would they pick interest? Or why would their parents encourage them to actually be part of Interact?
Well, thank you so much for that question once again. Personally, I'll answer that in my own perspective, that why I joined Interact. One, it's because of the good thing that they were doing that I found in Interact by the time I joined when I was in my senior one. This is a club where these interactors gather themselves by the guidance of Rotaract and Rotarians to impact on people's life. Because they were carrying out a lot of projects in our schools. By the time I joined, these are the interactors that could move class per class to mobilize and tell their fellow students that, you know what, we should not retire the classes. And I would find it very interesting for me to be part of this, service, this community that really do wonders in the school. Little that, that they also go beyond the school to do a lot of impactful things to the communities outside there.
Right, thank you very much. That is Mujib Chiuka, an interactor. And now coming to Rotarian Philip Wamala, how does Interact exactly relate with Rotary?
First of all, Rotary. In Uganda, Rotary is not so new. We've done a lot of projects, humanitarian projects. Those who always follow, Rotary has a Rotary Cancer Run, and think that is the most prominent thing that unites Rotarians in Uganda. But Rotary has volunteers that pay to serve. And that spirit is the one that prompted the Rotarians 63 years back to inculcate the same spirit in the young generation. In most cases, we get Rotarians just join when they're adults. But this seed has to be sown from the early ages. That's why we have Interact clubs in high school. Of course, when they finish, they go to Rotaract till when they go to become Rotarians. So, in brief, Interact, they are the young stars that in the future we envision to be good and better Rotarians than we are at this time.
Very profound of that. And one would wonder why a parent would encourage this, or what their role is, a parent or guardian, to these youngsters who might want to become interactors or might be persuaded to become interactors. What's the role of their parents and guardians?
Yes, one, the parents have a key role. First of all, if they understand what the interactors do when they join us. We groom leaders. Yes, Mujibu here is a head prefect, but someone that hasn't obtained that chance of being a head prefect has a platform to lead in Interact, to be a good public speaker, a good mobilizer, has a capacity to learn about the world in general, world understanding. There are issues about conflict, peace, and peace. We have issues to do with mental health, drug abuse, and environment. Now, a parent that wishes the future generation to know each or even more of those would like the children, their children, to join Interact. But they have a role. Before we bring these interactors to our clubs, we hope that the interactors or the school informs the parent that this child is joining Interact. And that parent has a role of sponsoring. Yes, we have Rotary clubs that sponsor, that guide these interactors, but the first sponsor or the first person to guide is the parent. When the parent refuses or stops the interactor from joining, the child or the student from joining, we don't admit them. Because we hope that whatever that occurs in this child's life as a minor, because the age you had it is 12 to 18, should be well known by the parent. We have consent forms. When we go to projects, we are moving these interactors in public means, a parent should have accepted. We go to projects and sometimes we take pictures. The parent should allow us. We have consent forms and they should allow that my child is free to take pictures and you can use these pictures. So the parent is a pillar for us as Rotary clubs, as Rotary International, to admit and engage these young ones.
Very profound at that. Indeed, as they say, as the saying goes, charity begins at home. And indeed, being an interactor means that your parent has to be in the know and in the consent of you being part of a great cause. Coming to you, Mujib, where do we find Interact?
Well, Interact is found in high schools. That, as I told you in my beginning, that the first Interact club was at Melbourne High School, that's US. But more so, due to the Rotary service being expanded to the community and engaging the communities, so we have now started the community-based clubs. As long as these young ones are aged between 12 and 18, they can gather themselves and get a Rotary sponsoring club and start an Interact club.
Right. Now, in your experience especially, why do you think schools should encourage Interact clubs? Because I know there are schools that do not have these clubs and there are some that do, but in your experience, why do you think all schools should encourage Interact clubs?
Well, with my experience as an interactor, I'll take you back. Me, I started my leadership journey after joining Interact. When I was in senior one, I got to know about this club and I got interested and I joined this club. And I have served in a various positions of the Interact, where I served as a mobilizer. Back then when I just joined, I served as a speaker, and then I served as the president of the Interact club. But this also motivated me to inspire on other leadership positions of the school, where I served as a timekeeper after gaining the courage of joining the Interact club. I stood up firm to contest as a timekeeper when I was my senior one. And currently, I'm the current head prefect of Kololo High School.
Right.
So the parents and the schools should know that Interact, it's a club that, adds a value to these students. Public speaking, these people build a network, which will result into the social capital. These people are really benefiting more, but briefly, these are the young people that are being guided on how they can take their life in a straight line after the guidance of Rotary. Because as the Rotarian Philip said, we do have the guides and that we follow as interactors. In whatever that we do, we need to first consult. And most of our parents don't have this time to talk to us. But through Rotary engagement with various meetings, we get to listen to different speakers that really speak a lot of things that motivate us, and eventually we turn into good citizens in future.
Right. So
the school should encourage the students, if at all they have an Interact club, to join and to be part, because there are a lot of benefits that these students want to benefit in Interact. But more so for the school, they should allow, since the government initiated the co-curricular activities, on the timetable they do have club activities. Now is the time for the schools to allow the clubs to be part of the school program, because these people learn a lot that is not being taught in the classes. These are where people get ideas, practice in activities. For example, in my year when I was a president, we gathered the plastic bottles and we made a dustbin. And the school was very impressed to extent to see that the Interact club, we are doing something creative, and more so, we are solving the challenge of plastic in our community.
Right. Yes, indeed. And now, if you're just joining us, we're having a conversation on Rotary and Interact. Interact that results into Rotaract and then Rotary. And we are wondering why and how Rotarians can engage interactors so that this movement continues, but also, of course, the main purpose being for impact and great impact for the world, to make the world a better place. Rotarian Philip, let's talk about the safeguards. What safeguards are there to convince how interactors engage, especially to convince their parents? What safeguards are there to make sure that interactors do what they're supposed to do within the safest spaces?
Thank you for that question. First of all, Interact exposes the young people to the world, whether we are in school, partners, Rotarians get into the schools and do activities with these interactors, but also outside school, youth exchanges, and all those bring various activities and risks to the young ones. In Rotary, as I said, we have a safeguard of a parent giving us their consent, a written one, to allow this child to go. Most of the Interact clubs we have in Uganda, it is deliberate that they're in high schools, in schools. One, those schools have administration that we work with. The schools must accept and they should know that these interactors are getting out or they are carrying out activities within the school, they're carrying out projects. We are going to help a needy person. The school administrators are the ones to know, because in the schools we have what we call club patrons. For us as Rotarians, we call them club advisors, and those, they walk this journey with the interactors, meaning this interactor should be supervised and guided by adults who are the teachers, the school administration. We have schools that go to do projects with the interactors, and the administration writes to the parents, we are taking you in the community, But those of the community, it means as a Rotary Club, we have to put in more energy because there is no school and the parents would want their children to be in that spot where they are safe. We have sexual harassment, of harassment. And in Rotary, we have the youth protection policy. If we are greeting and interacting with these interactors, the young people, there is a way we are supposed to greet. The former one, no touch, they're harassed in any way. We call upon them and the school administrators to always receive the complaints, let the interactor confirm so. The people that harass the interactors are...
Is your parting shot?
Well, my parting shot as an interactor is to encourage all the young people out there to join Interact. But not only to join Interact, but out of the global community that do. But not only to join Interact, but out of the global community that do wonders and put a smile on people's face in our community. Let it be in school. I always encourage my fellow interactors at school. It doesn't make sense for you. It doesn't make sense for you to own 2 pens or more than 2 pens when your fellow doesn't have a pen. Remember, at a certain point you will need to revise some notes, and this person will be the one to help you out. But if you didn't give him or her a pen to write those notes, then who will help you? And therefore, in brief, as I conclude, allow me also to share this. Upon all the Rotarians, I call upon all the Rotaractors to kindly interlink, because it's this interlink that caused the floods that we're seeing in Kampala and everywhere. So if we don't do our best as interactors, and this is what we're supposed to do, as we have been always doing it, we have been very keen about the environment, and let's all be at Gaza Market and let's do the sensitization much as we are carrying out this cleanup project.
Right, very, very timely indeed. Philip, Rotarian Philip Wamala, who is Interact Chair, Rotary District 9213. What's your parting shot? I
won't differ so much from Mujib. Interact started on 5th November 1962, and this week, where 5th falls, is the Interact week, where we celebrate what Interact is, what Interact does, and we publish our work, we sensitize. We are concluding this week on Sunday, but tomorrow, Saturday 7th, we have an event that is bringing together interactors. Of course, they are students. We may get few of them, and we are going to do the celebration. We are going to get mentorship from a Rotaractor who is our district Rotaract representative, because we said in Interact we mentor. They are going to see from those adults. We need each person out there to support an interactor. We said our hashtag is impact an interactor in several ways: supporting, mentor them, and together with our hashtag of Rotary Eyamba, we shall do good to the young generation, the future Rotarians.
Right, bringing together people through Rotary. That's been our conversation. Good Morning Uganda does continue, but I'd like to appreciate you and say thank you so much for watching Good Morning Uganda and for following the show. We do still have a lot in store for you, so do not leave your TV set or your mobile phone or whatever device you're using to watch us and follow us, be it remotely or in a particular place. Good morning.
Following our earlier communication regarding the technical challenge that affected the transmission of some free-to-air television channels, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation (UBC) wishes to provide the public with an update on the ongoing restoration efforts. Our engineering and technical teams have been working diligently to resolve the issue and restore normal transmission. While substantial progress has been made, the process has taken longer than initially anticipated due to the complexity of the fault. We assure our valued viewers and partners that full restoration remains our top priority, and every necessary measure is being taken to ensure a stable and reliable signal across all affected platforms. In the meantime, we kindly advise viewers to rescan their TV sets to access the available channels. This will ensure that you can view the channels that are currently broadcasting without interruption. UBC sincerely apologizes for the inconvenience this disruption has caused and appreciates the continued patience and understanding of our audiences as we finalize the recovery process. Further updates will be provided through our official communication channels as progress continues. For additional information, please contact Public Relations Office, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation UBC, email info@ubc.go.ug or +256 703 826 623.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Juko. Yo. What you check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Joko, I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
I'd love to take this opportunity to thank our President, Yoweri Kaguta Turahabura Museveni, by coming up with a Myoga program. We started in 2021 as Kasumi Parish Carpenters Myoga Circle. When we received this amount of 30 million, we had a problem, we had a challenge of machines. We used to carry our wood and we would carry it up to Waise to be worked on. So when we got this chance, we are able to buy machines to ease our work of carpentry. At the moment, we are a number composed of 140 members. We have the women who come in and do saloon chairs. We have the men doing 3-drawer tables, 2-drawer tables, and different kind of furniture. Before the Myoga program came in, we had a lot of crimes taking place on this road. When this Myoga program came up, we managed to collect these youths. We gave them hope that you can change from stealing, and we can give you skill so that you be someone in the society that will even help another person.
Kansoke ddala okwebaza omukulembeze w'eggwanga olw'emirimu emirungi gy'ataddemu nga ffe abavubuka. Nze nno nze omu ku abo abaabeeranga ku kkubo okwo emisana n'ekiro ng'oluusi olw'okuba naffe tunoonya ekyokulya nga gwakiyina oba mmwe twakiyitanga b'amalala bagenda beerabisa nga tubagwamu munnange era nga tuba tulina obikujjako naffe ne tubaawo. Naye munnange neebaza kyamani wange wa wano yankwatako nno wamu ne bannange twatandika okozesa mashini zino tandika okuwawula okulanda